Hello, everybody, and welcome to Budo Kombat podcast, episode number 6. We appreciate you guys joining. Hope everyone's doing well. And right now on the call on this podcast, we have myself and Mr. Parr. What's up, Parr?
What's up?
Yeah, it's nice to sync up again after a week, man. After a very busy week, here we are, a long weekend with Family Day. Um, hey, that extra day goes a long way, especially here in North America, does it not?
Oh, for sure, especially with the weather we're having.
Yeah.
Blizzards galore.
Yeah. Yeah, the weather is has been pretty intermittent here in the winters in the last several years, right? With winters getting extended without having snowy Christmases, no white Christmases.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
And then it's one day it's super hot, it gets really warm, and another day here and there we might have a couple weeks of it being really cold and frigid, and then it goes back to warm, and lots of intermittent sporadic behavior in our weather.
The worst is like you don't know when to shovel because the forecast is always so random. Like sometimes it'll rain and it'll melt all the snow, and I'm like, oh, why did I spend that whole day shoveling?
Oh yeah, true that. Or sometimes you do have to shovel a few times just to be ahead of it because it'll snow.
It goes crazy, yeah.
And then next thing you know, it gets super cold overnight and the snow hardens, and now you can't get your car out of the driveway, right?
Oh, yeah, then you're screwed.
Yeah, I mean, unless you want to bust up your bumper, which I did, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, half my bumper's sort of falling off, and it'll cost $1,000 to fix proper. And I'm like, yeah, this is just a cosmetic thing, right? Bumpers are sort of cosmetic for the most part, are they not?
Sort of.
Yes.
Yeah, so anyway, we'll talk about that later.
I found a nice little workaround for that, at least.
There you go. Good.
But anyhow, I think so. On this podcast, we'll talk about how the fights went last weekend. So that was the Israel Adesanya versus Robert Whittaker 2 card, and we'll talk a bit about the upcoming matches, a week from now and a couple of weeks from now. I.e., we got Bobby Green fighting none other than Islam Makhachev, who is the new, Khabib's protege. That's coming up soon in a week. And then a couple weeks from then, we got Colby versus Jorge, March 5th. But just revisiting what happened during the fights last weekend, we'll take it right from the top. Israel versus Whittaker. So, Parr, what are your thoughts, man?
Well, a lot of people, it was actually seemed very controversial. A lot of people thought Whittaker actually pulled it off. Based on my perspective, though, I didn't think he did enough to take it from Israel Adesanya. Like, I mean, a lot of the fights from what I've seen is it's like if you're going against a champion, especially if they're high profile champion, let's be honest, this is a business, right?
Yes.
For a high profile champion, you have to actually like take it from them. You have to like kind of almost like a shadow of a doubt, no doubt. Although I didn't like the scorecards that were given, like they're saying like Israel won like 4 rounds.
Yeah.
Where I'd say definitely it was 3-2 and it was close. Like it could be debated. It could have been debatable either way, but that's not enough to say that you finished in that fight. Yeah. Israel, for the most part, seemed more threatening. Like just watching the fight, I wanted Bobby Green to win. We all know that from last podcast.
Yeah, Robert Whittaker. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted Whittaker to win, right? And like you could see that from the last podcast. So like. But it was evident that Israel had more control, more threat. Just seemed like he won the fight. Like, Whittaker had a couple good takedowns. I think one he landed 4 shots with them, so it was good. But like, I mean, a lot of people would argue that like if you do a takedown and someone comes back up, that's like a good defense. So it's almost like nullifies the takedown if you don't do anything with it. So it's like 0-0, right? Like you could argue that. Like it's just like trying to land it's like trying to land an effective punch or something like that, right? Like I don't know. It's hard to say, but I would say
Yeah.
that like Whittaker didn't do enough.
Yeah. Would you say that out of all middleweights that Israel has fought, do you think Whittaker came the closest to beating, or Whittaker performed the best out of all of Adesanya's other competition at middleweight?
100%, 100%. Like, and like the other thing, like people don't like take into account is the huge reach advantage. Like that's like a 7 or 8 inch reach advantage.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, like it'd be hard to like, you'd be hard pressed to like try to beat someone like Israel. Like if they
Yeah.
fought like 10, 20 times, I don't know. I'd say
Yeah.
Israel would take most of them. Let's be honest. It's just
yeah.
there's
Well,
just they don't match up well.
well,
For
I
Whittaker.
mean, Whittaker is a smaller middleweight, and Israel is a larger middleweight. And Israel's
Mhm.
fought at heavyweight in kickboxing,
Mhm.
and so naturally, you know, the frames are going to be different. Yeah, so Israel's bigger for sure, longer reach, and yeah, how do you take out sort of a mirror of John Jones pretty much at middleweight, right? Because Adesanya does have that aura of invincibility at middleweight, similar to John Jones has.
Yeah, and
Yeah. Oh, you still there, man?
he's a better athlete too. Like from my perspective, I think he's a better athlete than
Yeah.
Whittaker. Like Whittaker might have more. The only thing that ties it up or brings it closer is the wrestling skills. So I like he's became the close because of the combination of his striking and wrestling combined.
Yeah. Like I thought Whittaker did a very good job personally. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
Whittaker really put in demonstrated the mixed aspect of mixed martial arts, you know, and pretty much that's what you and I were postulating that he should do in order to take this away from Adesanya to become the champion,
100%.
to really mix it up. And that was something we were questioning. We were saying, yeah, okay, Whittaker has, I think, 4 to 5 more years of actual MMA, professional MMA fight experience than Adesanya. And we were postulating that, you know, the wrestling, it would translate in the wrestling if he actually went for it and actually did some dirty boxing and ground and pound takedowns. Now, part of me says some of that worked for sure, but I think he can still work on his wrestling too. I mean, DC does a very good job at this, clamping on people by holding them down. You know, as soon as DC takes people down, he'll clamp down on them.
Yeah, they don't get back up.
They don't get back up. Yeah. And I think that's something Whittaker can work on, like his technique. And it could be that, you know, Adesanya was able to get up simply because of his strength. There might be a strength differential here because of their size, whereas Israel couldn't get up from Jan Blankowicz when Jan took Israel down, right? So there's a difference there. Jan taking down Israel, Israel can't getting up. Could be weight, could be size, versus Whittaker taking down Israel and Israel getting back up as a result. But we saw some strengths there, I guess. We saw some advantages that Whittaker had with regards to those takedowns. Just needed to hold on to him, beat him up a little bit more. I did find what was working for Whittaker was when he would initiate the grapple and then disengage with a couple strikes. You know what I mean? Upon the disengaging, he was able to land some strikes. So like dirty boxing upon disengaging. So instead of Whittaker maybe trying so hard to get that fighting for every single takedown, I think he should have. It was good to like get in that grappling range, pretend you're going for a takedown, then disengage, punch, and then go, pretend you're going for the takedown, punch, and then pretend you're going to punch, go for the takedown. If you're having trouble taking him down, break it up and like disengage with some more strikes, because he was landing some good strikes upon that disengagement, you know, where Israel was thinking about defending the takedown while they were already in that grappling range. He was getting lit up a couple times. I would love to see a third match still. I think Whittaker needs to earn it. Like if he maybe wins his next couple bouts in dominating fashion, that might call for a third fight, similar to Max Holloway versus Volkanovski, right? They are to fight a third time, even though Volkanovski beat Max Holloway 2 times. I think both second time at least was somewhat of a split decision. But yeah, that's my general thoughts.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I didn't see enough clinch fighting from Whittaker too, like some close up elbows and like that. I don't know if it would have been hard for him to do that because I know Israel's really fast, right? So I don't know if that might have got him into danger because Israel has some sneaky punches. He knows how to, like, if you're close, he knows how to get back fast enough to do some damage, even though he's long and
Right.
his advantage is the long range fighting. I'd still say he's dangerous if you're up close as well.
Yeah. No, but it was working for Whittaker though. Like when he would put Adesanya up against the cage, and then upon breaking and disengaging, he would land a couple strikes, and it was working. But he just wasn't doing it a lot. He wasn't doing it enough, I felt. So yeah, I think if I mean, it's hard to like outstrike Adesanya, right?
Oh, yeah.
You really have to mix in the grappling and if you want to outstrike Adesanya, you have to make him think about your grappling. Like you're going to go for a takedown and then you strike. So yeah, I think if Whittaker works on clamping him down, holding him down more, and probably a bit more dirty boxing, that some of those things might turn the favor for Whittaker, but still a very good fighter.
Oh, definitely. He didn't like embarrass himself by any means. He fought a really good fight. Like I said, many argued that he actually won by the rules of MMA, and I mean, you can argue that, but it's not going to work against someone that just got a multi-million-dollar contract. So they want to keep that guy as
absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's just being realistic. Like, even if he did a little bit more, because of look at the judges' scorecards. Even if he did a little bit more, it wouldn't have been enough. Sorry. Yeah. It's just how it is.
Still business. Business is business. And politics is politics.
It's all about the Benjamins.
But with that said, I mean, Whittaker wasn't really close to being finished either. He got dropped that one time though, right?
Oh yeah, the first round.
Reminiscent of Conor McGregor making Nate Diaz fall down in the second fight. But then after that, it was just. Do you feel like Israel's pop goes away after rounds 3, 4, 5, a little bit?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Like he seems like he has a lot of cardio, but I don't know. I think it depends on the opponent too, right?
True. Yeah, very cool, man. So that's that. Whittaker versus Adesanya. We summed it up, right?
Yeah. The next one.
Yeah. Derek Lewis.
The guy wanted to win. Tuivasa.
Oh yeah, you wanted him to win, right? It was hard for me to select who I thought was going to win. But I know you and I, we had some contention with regards to who we thought was going to win in Cannonier versus Brunson. That was where you and I had some contention. But we'll make our way to that.
We'll talk about that after. Let me celebrate this Tuivasa win first.
True.
Because honestly, like the way he fought, he took a lot of hard punches from Derek Lewis. Like
up against the cage.
Up against the cage, down on the ground almost, like with gravity, and he just started fighting back, which was amazing. I didn't expect him to be able to take those. And then like those elbows at the end, bro. Those elbows, he made Derek Lewis face plant. Look at that one elbow.
Gosh, I was like, it was a weird slashing elbow too, right?
Yeah.
It was like slashing. It didn't quite get him. I don't know if it was like a legit KO. You know, it wasn't. Derek Lewis was not KO'd, but the way he fell down seemed like he was KO'd with that face plant. Yeah. No, definitely a legit stoppage.
But it was multiple ones, eh? So it wasn't just
before
one.
Maybe
it was like, before that. Yeah. So maybe it was the collective.
Yeah, I feel like Derek was falling apart in the last 10, 15 seconds. Ty landed a couple good ones.
Oh, yeah.
And he just kept pushing.
Those are deadly.
And I don't know, has Derek Lewis ever been one to, show perseverance? Has he ever been through
We
pushed
know his
hard?
we know his last fight. He kind of like I think we talked about it. He
Oh,
kind
that's right, Curtis Blades, right?
with not with Curtis Blades with Cyril Gahn. That's what I meant. He kind of like
That's right.
didn't
Wilted a bit.
really yeah a bit yeah. So like I don't know this case I don't think it's I'd say it's less to do with the perseverance and more to do with the combination of like blows to the head from the elbows.
Yeah. I mean, both of them. I mean, definitely Ty showed the perseverance and just standing up and fighting back, because this has been done against Overeem as well, where Overeem's like beating the crap out of his opponent. And then when he's not ready for it, his opponent will just sort of, as they're getting beat up, they'll throw something back and it'll land. And that's how people can get knocked out, when they go on the pure offensive. They really don't, they're not anticipating.
They're not watching for them. Yeah, they're not watching for the counter strike or the return strike. And that's exactly funny you mentioned that. That's how Ty won his last fight with Greg Hardy.
Oh, okay.
So like Hardy had him with a good shot and he looked a little stumbly and then he came in too fast. And Ty just clocked him one that just took him out.
Wow. That reminds me of Czech. The best example of that is Czech Congo versus Pat Barry. I don't know if you've seen that highlight.
I'll check
okay. Well, Pat Barry's just like making Czech Congo do like the dance, several different dances. He's like wobbly on his feet for like a good 10-15 seconds. And he keeps getting hit and he keeps moving around, and then he lands on his head on the floor and he gets up and he's off balance, and this goes on for like 10-15 seconds.
Wow.
And Pat Barry goes for that final punch, and then out of nowhere Czech Congo does like this weird one hit
like
knockout.
Some Dragon Ball Z shit.
Yeah, one hit knockout. Another good example. Yeah, pretty much. Another example was Robbie Lawler versus Melvin Manoff in Strikeforce. So I don't know if you know Melvin Manoff, but he's in K1 as well, like super explosive kickboxer. Just kept landing low kicks non-stop, like the hardest low kicks you've ever seen. And probably like a good 10 really hard low kicks, and he just kept chasing Robbie Lawler down. Robbie Lawler couldn't even stand pretty much. And then out of nowhere, Robbie just gives him an overhand as Melvin Manoff is like thinking about the next shot. And he gets knocked out just like that. And Robbie's limping after the fight, but he wins it. So anything can happen. Yeah. So in that case, in this case, Derek, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Yeah, Derek Lewis versus Ty. I wouldn't have been surprised, if Ty came back from that, as Derek Lewis is pounding him on the floor, and Ty's like sort of in a fetal position in the corner of the cage, and slowly he's getting back up, and then boom, he starts throwing back. And I mean, he didn't end up really like connecting with those shots, but I'm sure that demonstration, that it symbolizes that this man's hard to take away,
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. This is not going to be a long night, basically.
Exactly. This is going to be a long night is probably what Derek Lewis is thinking at that point. And that I'm sure some of that contributed to him sort of wilting as well, right?
Or sort of like just like or sort of just like, because it's demoralizing, right?
Demoralizing. Yeah, it affects his nervous system, I'm sure. If that happens to you, if you're punching someone as hard as you can nonstop, and they not only are they taking it, but they're standing back up and they start throwing back, and you're like, wow, I just threw everything at this man and he's throwing back at me. How do I take out this Terminator here?
Is that not what happened with Mark Hunt? Like I think he's also Samoan. Mark Hunt, and I think that's sort of the fight earlier on in Derek Lewis's career, where Mark actually TKO'd him as well, and Tai Tuivasa, which she'd be proud, is actually a protege of Mark Hunt. So that's pretty cool. I didn't watch that fight, but I've heard some commentary regarding Derek Lewis and Mark Hunt. And I think he's the only other guy to knock out Derek Lewis. I
Oh,
think,
yeah.
He KO'd him. I don't know.
Yeah,
Did you
Mark
watch that
Hunt.
fight?
I don't remember a lot about it, but I know it happened with Mark Hunt is a legend for sure, man. So yeah, he was Tai Tuivasa seemed to maybe carrying the spirit of Mark Hunt,
Oh yeah.
the fighting spirit of the Samoans. Good.
Sure.
That was a good matchup.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, moving on from Derek Lewis versus Tai Tuivasa, we got Bobby Green versus Nasrat
No, we
Haqparast.
were gonna talk about first the Brunson versus Cannonier
Right.
fight. Remember?
Okay.
That's why I was laughing. I thought we wanted to talk about that. So yeah, I picked Brunson, but Cannonier also again with the deadly elbows. The deadly elbows.
Yeah, it was a night of elbows, eh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think? Like, do you think Brunson made some technical mistakes to get to that situation, or it was just Cannonier's striking was too good?
Well, let's just revisit what happened because I'm trying to remember. Derek Brunson was winning.
He had
right?
him in, yeah, he had him in a submission almost in the end of the first round, and then
Yeah.
it went to the second round,
So
and the
that
Cannonier
was
caught him.
so that was the rare naked choke, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, Derek Brunson was doing everything really well in the first round. Now in the second round, gosh, no, I remember watching this and I was very opinionated about, and I had some good commentary about what was happening in it. I'm just trying to remember exactly what happened. Cannonier definitely showed his strength again, right? And not getting submitted. He showed his strength in defending takedowns in the second round, right?
mm-hmm.
And then something was happening with Derek Lewis where he was just starting to fade.
Brunson, yeah.
Well, sorry, Derek Brunson. Yeah. Why was
Yeah.
Derek Brunson starting to fade for
Yeah, you're right.
Cannonier to take over?
What I seen is he got hit with a good shot. He got hit with a good shot, and it took him a long time to recover from it. And then after that, he was not the same. He was just like not all there after
Yeah.
that one shot. That's what I realized. And then that's where Cannonier, the whole momentum of the fight switched.
Yeah.
Just that one shot.
Gosh, no, I had, gosh, I should have revisited this one. I remember, yeah, I had something to say about it.
Did you like Cannonier's post-fight speech? He's like, "Hey, Dana, get away from Dana. Get away from Dana. Stop talking to him. Dana, I'm fighting for the title, right? Good? Okay."
Yeah. That should be a good one.
That's like sick promo though. Like he just basically like called out the president and told him, "This is what we're gonna do." And the president just said, "Yep, okay."
Yeah. Well, I think Cannonier still proved that he is the dark horse of the middleweight division. He still proved that.
Adesanya's been wanting to fight him for a while. He just couldn't get through Whittaker.
That is right. Adesanya did say that. And Adesanya also said, while we're on that topic, that he was like, okay, Khamzat Chimaev, he's not relevant just yet. But when we get there, when he gets up to me, then he will be relevant. And so, yeah. But Cannonier, okay, so we talked about this last week. Derek Lewis, he's sort of like a good mixed martial artist. He's sort of like at least.
You mean Brunson, right?
My apologies. Yeah, Derek Brunson.
Yeah.
Derek Brunson is like 70% good at almost everything, right?
Yeah.
But there's no like one thing that he truly excels at. Because,
I thought it was wrestling, but. No, I guess not good enough to counteract Cannonier's striking prowess.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Cannonier had him down and he just kept on elbowing him, right? That's how he finished him. Yeah, I think Cannonier is one of those like genetic specimens, very similar to.
Yeah, he's a beast.
very similar to, who did DC face that was also a genetic specimen? Anthony Rumble Johnson.
Oh yeah, Johnson.
So
You know who he reminds me of too?
who?
For some reason he reminds me of Deontay Wilder too. Cannonier.
Interesting.
Just like the athletic, maybe not the power, maybe not
Yeah.
as much power, obviously, but
Yep. Yeah, man. Cannonier has only lost to the best. Even at light heavyweight, he's only lost to the best. Glover Teixeira, Jan Blachowicz, Dominic Reyes, light heavyweight. That's who he lost to. He fought at heavyweight prior to that. Now he's fighting at middleweight. And even in middleweight, in his last 6 performances, he's only lost to Robert Whittaker, which is the best.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, he's good.
He's probably improved, right, since that Whittaker fight. So it's going to be a good matchup. And like, like they always say, like matchup makes fights. Like MMA math doesn't always line up.
Yeah.
So he could be a matchup that could actually be the puzzle, the solution for the Adesanya puzzle, right?
Yeah.
Well, and there's another solution for the Adesanya puzzle, is the guy who beat him in kickboxing before, who's now in the UFC.
Oh, good call. Yes, Alex Pereira.
Yeah, Alex Pereira. So he's coming up. I'm excited to see his next fight. I don't know when it is, but I'm hoping he gets up, because that's going to be an interesting fight to see. And he's training with Glover Teixeira too. So watch out for that guy. That's all I got to say.
Wow, yeah, Pereira is scheduled to face Bruno Silva on March 12th, 2022 at Fight Night 203.
I'll be watching that.
Good for him. I mean, MMA, I know it's weird, people complaining about the money in MMA, but they're still making more money in MMA than anywhere else pretty much, right?
Yeah, especially with UFC. Like, I mean, UFC and some other organizations have closed, but especially with the UFC.
Yes, sir. So more to look out for with regards to Jared Cannonier. He's only getting better, and he's already a specimen as it is. He's the sort of the Deontay Wilder, the Terminator at middleweight, and so far it looks like at middleweight the only way to take him out is to have a good composure, because I think that's where Derek Brunson started losing it. He showed his lack of composure in the second rounds. And yeah, he got clipped, but I think he can still be composed when you get clipped like that.
Like Usman did in the Gilbert Burns fight. He got clipped, like he shook it off like a Ninja Turtle.
Yeah.
Did you see the way he shook it off? He's like, and he was just like, he was fine after that.
He looks like a turtle, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. But he shook it off like a Ninja Turtle. It was crazy.
Yeah, the Diaz brothers are composed as well.
Oh, yeah.
Robert Whittaker was composed. He was like, Robert Whittaker was another type of Terminator against Cannonier, he's winning the fight technically, and he just had to stay technical like that. So whatever Derek Lewis was doing, if he could just continue doing that, what he was doing in round 1 into round 2.
You keep calling Brunson Lewis.
Oh gosh, two Dereks here. Well, I mean, since we're talking about African Americans, why don't we move on to the next African American in Bobby Green versus Nasrat?
Bobby King Green versus Nasrat. Yeah, it was a good fight, but I'd say Bobby was piecing him up, man. Like, he was working the jab, he was going right to the guard. So and like we were saying before, Nasrat kind of moves a little bit too predictable. Like, he didn't really switch it up. Like, it could be it could be nerves. It could be not a good game plan. It could be lack of striking prowess. Yeah. And it's crazy because you'd see the age difference, but Bobby King actually seemed a little bit faster.
Yeah. Well, watching Bobby Green, is his nickname King or?
Bobby King Green, yeah.
Oh, nice. I mean, just watching him, he kind of reminded me of a good mesh fusion of, as you were saying, Clay Guida. That's what you were saying.
Yeah, Clay Guida, yeah.
Also, believe it or not, sort of Leon Edwards-ish.
With the straight jabs, the fast straight jabs kind of thing.
Yeah, and Nate Diaz. He kind of reminds me of a combination of all those three guys. Because Leon Edwards, I think he has the ability to finish, but he doesn't finish. He's like kind of a hard counter striker. His counter strikes hurt for sure, and I think he has the ability to finish, but he just chooses not to. Yeah, so for some reason, Bobby Green reminds me of those three. Clay Guida, probably because of his volume, more than anything else, and his like grittiness. Nate Diaz, mainly because of his like pure boxing arm punch style and taunts as well.
Yeah, taunts, and he's like willing to do like phone. What is it? The phone booth operator fighting at times. He was doing it with his Rafael Fiziev in the last fight too. So he's a beast.
Yeah, and then Leon Edwards in that he doesn't quite have the knockout power, but is pretty precise in his striking as well. So a combination of those three. But yeah, no, he was splitting the guard of Nasrat. Nasrat, gosh, everyone's body type is different, Obviously, Bobby Green's body type is way different than Nasrat's body type. So I don't know if Nasrat can do what Bobby Green does with those, elastic flick shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know if Nasrat can do that, but I think Nasrat could have still changed it up beyond having the same guard the whole time, right?
Yeah.
There's like lots of you should have at least 2 or 3 different styles and alternate between those styles in a fight. And Nasrat was just had that same style in defending, at least.
Yeah, it's easier said than done, but I'd say Nasrat, like, he has body type, and his genetics would be also suited to have a lot of wrestling and jiu-jitsu mixed in. So if he had those skills, I think it would have been an easier way to get the left hand in. Because it just becomes predictable if you're not able to mix it up. And if the guy's not threatened by your takedown, all you have is the left hand. So, like someone like him, and he could still do it, but I'd say like it's kind of harder now. Like if you worked this in a long time ago, where he's like going with people that like have been doing wrestling for a long time and like jiu-jitsu and stuff like that, he would have had a better chance to win the fight. And I think he could have. That was his avenue to win the fight against someone like Bobby Green, which is why I don't know if you want to transition yet.
Unless you
have more to say.
No, let's do it.
10 days notice, he's stepping up to Islam Makhachev, and all respect to him for doing that. Islam Makhachev, everyone knows, is the beast. He's got good striking, he's got good jiu-jitsu, he's got good wrestling, and honestly, Bobby Green might not be as easy as a matchup as Islam has faced before. He's very gritty. He's very, like tough, and the key, I think, like Benson Henderson, for example, he beat Islam Makhachev, who's also one of Khabib's proteges in Bellator recently. I think it was like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And the way he did it is he like was very gritty, but he'd roll. He just continued to roll so that they don't have the position on you. They can't keep the position. That's what the Dagestanis do. They clamp you down and they have the position on you. So he would roll. He'd just keep rolling. So he'd get the person out of commission, and then he'd try to do his own submission attempts as he's rolling. So that would be the greatest chance that Bobby has, unless he has phenomenal takedown defense and he can take Islam with the striking. But Islam, don't slouch on Islam's striking either. His striking is even, many would say, much better than even Khabib. So that's saying a lot.
Damn. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm trying to see if Islam has fought someone like Bobby Green in the past. Because Islam's fought some good people, and he finished his last 3 opponents. He
Mhm.
finished them with submissions. Dan Hooker, Kimura, round 1. Thiago Moises, round 4, rare naked choke, and Drew Dober, round 3, arm triangle choke.
And those were excellent strikers. All right.
Mhm.
I don't know about Moises is a good mix. I believe Bobby Green has beat Moises before though, eh? Can you look that up?
Sure. Thiago Moises, yeah, he beat Bobby Green. No, Thiago Moises beat Bobby Green.
Oh, was it decision?
Yes.
Okay, because I think that's what I heard. That a lot of people argued that Bobby Green actually won that
Oh, I see.
decision
I
because
see.
that's the thing. That's why he's not as a great a star as he is. He was getting a lot of this. He wasn't winning because like he's like a Leon Edwards fighter,
Hmm.
and he wasn't getting a lot of the decisions that he should have won. Even that Rafael Fiziev fight, and I'm a huge fan of Rafael Fiziev. I was thinking Bobby Green might have won that one. So like it's true that he doesn't seem to be getting these decision wins.
Hmm.
So that makes it a little bit more interesting
Yeah.
than obviously it's not. I don't think it's as interesting as the original matchup that Islam had with Beneil Dariush because Beneil Dariush looks like a beast and he's
Yeah.
so well rounded. So obviously that's the fight we all wanted. But hey, I think this is going to be a interesting matchup, and it's not going to be a walk in the park for Islam.
Yeah. Yeah. Islam versus Beneil Dariush would have been next level.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely. Because,
that's
like,
pay per view worthy, man. I don't know. I won't say not main card, but I would say that's like a co-main worthy, pay
yeah.
per view worthy.
Yeah. Agreed. Now, because Beneil Dariush, I can't believe he fights at lightweight. This guy looks like he should be fighting at welterweight, eh?
Oh yeah,
So,
he's got big bones. His
what's that?
back, his bones, like his
Oh, yeah.
back.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, So, I mean, but yeah, as you were saying, Bobby Green is no walk in the park either. Um, yeah, Makhachev striking. He's turning into Khabib wasn't really like Khabib was more of a boxer that would throw leg kicks
Unorthodox.
sometimes and throw these like weird front kicks as well.
And like this, like the side punches kind of thing, like
Oh
this.
yeah, yeah. Those are legit karate moves, by the way. And
Oh,
there's a
okay,
lot of there's a lot of I'll show you when we get together.
nice.
I'll show you some really cool karate next level punches that work really well
That's sick.
and strikes. But yeah, those are valid still. So yeah, Makachev on the other hand, when I've seen him striking in his last few fights, he kicks a lot more than Khabib. So Makhachev seems to be like a more well-rounded kickboxer than
Very
Khabib.
clean too.
Hmm. Hmm. So yeah, I think he's only getting better from here. He's got the Khabib wrestling. He's got the Dagestani wrestling, which he's been doing at a very young age. And he's got Khabib in his corner telling him exactly how to finish and how to move
Yeah.
to the next position in wrestling.
Oh yeah.
So,
Sambo, and then the kickboxing.
oh
So
yes,
he's so
the
like
thing,
that's the thing. Like if he gets Bobby Green down, I don't think Green's gonna get up.
I think he's
That's
just
the
too
thing.
strong for Green, right?
Yeah, if he takes him down, but I think Bobby Green actually has some good takedown defense, and it's
Mm,
not going to be easy. And if he goes at the wrong time, Green could get him. I don't know if Green would be able to knock him out,
yeah.
but Green could get a couple good shots in there. So Islam's got to watch out for that. That's what I would say.
Mm, yeah. Now, if you think Bobby Green wins, will it be by decision?
I don't know, man. It's hard for me to like see an angle where Bobby Green even wins. It's hard.
Yeah.
Like I know it's going to be a huge upset. It's going to be one of the biggest upsets in UFC history if Bobby Green
Okay.
wins.
Okay. Here's
And not to say that it's not possible. Like he is a beast. He is tough.
mhm.
He has the tools to do it, but it's just there's a different skill levels. And I don't know if he's that much better than Islam in anything.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at the historical data here, apart from Bobby Green TKOing Al Iaquinta in November 2021, few months ago.
That was a
Apart
good
from that,
fight.
Bobby Green hasn't won any fights by TKO or KO since February 2010. So any fight that he has, oh, my apologies. No. He body kicked TKO'd someone in 2013. But otherwise, any other time he's won in the last 10 years, it's been through decision or a few submissions here and there.
Mhm.
So the submissions, I don't think he's going to submit. I don't think he's
I'd
going to
be
submit
very
Islam Makhachev.
surprised. Unless he gets him with a really good shot and Makhachev is like, he gets a position on Makhachev. That's the only way.
Yeah.
But that would be crazy. Imagine the person that bets on that. Imagine you put in like $100. You put in $100, you're gonna make like at least like 50 grand, I'd say.
Wow, yeah.
Let's bet on that. Let's bet $100 on Bobby Green submission. You never know, man. This MMA, that's what I love about MMA. It's like basketball in a sense. Like anyone has a chance and anyone can come back, no matter how much time is left. I'm actually seriously considering doing a bet on a Bobby Green submission.
Gosh, yeah.
I'd have to look at the odds, but like if it's like a good 50, 100,000, it might be worth it. You never fucking know, man.
Yeah. I mean, he submitted Jacob Volkman in 2013 with a rear naked choke, another rear naked choke in 2011, arm triangle choke in 2011. So most of his wins, I'd have to say, apart from like an odd TKO here and there, 1 or 2 TKOs in the last 10 years, 2 submissions in the last 10 years, his wins have been mainly by decision. So I don't know, man. Yeah, can he decision? Most likely if he wins, it's going to be by decision, right? Because that's how he's been winning. If he does win.
I'd agree with that statement.
Now I just don't know if Makhachev will probably eventually resort to grappling and just dominate at grappling. So,
I'd say the most likely scenario is Makhachev's submission, but like I said, anything is possible.
Yes, I agree. But yeah, so I'm rooting for Mr. Makhachev.
I hope he gets a title shot after.
Same here, man.
That's the problem. Like, it's not his fault that Dariush got hurt. Like, he should get the title shot. They better not, like, it'll be like 10 wins in a row, I think. They better not pull a Leon Edwards in.
Excuse me. Yeah. So, sorry, I'm just reading here. He was to face, okay. Maybe this is an old one, but Beneil Dariush injured, Bobby Green meets Islam Makhachev. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I think Islam should win this one. And then I don't know what's next for Makhachev from there, but I hope he gets a title shot.
Oliveira and him is going to be insane. If he wins, Bobby Green, it's going to be insane. That's going to be a fight for the ages. It's like grappler against grappler, jiu-jitsu against like basically styles, like Brazilian against Dagestani. That's what it is.
Well said.
That's going to be one of the best fights. Like
both
if you're a hardcore, you're really into like those arts. That's going to be one of the best like matchups, and that one honestly could go either way. It's not like anyone has the advantage.
Yeah, I mean, Charles Oliveira and Islam Makhachev are the same age as well, more or less. So these guys are in their prime, and they have a very similar skill set.
And a lot of people would say, "Well, you gotta wait for the Gaethje fight. Gaethje's gonna lose. Sorry, Oliveira is gonna destroy Gaethje.
When is that happening?
Probably faster than Khabib. Let's be honest. He beat Dustin Poirier faster than Khabib, and I don't know, maybe faster than Khabib, but he's gonna beat him. That's my prediction. I don't see a way Gaethje's gonna get around that because he doesn't train that stuff. Even though he's with Usman, it doesn't seem like he trains that stuff.
Trains
like
trains. Oh
submissions,
yes.
jiu-jitsu, getting out of his positions. I don't
Oh
think he
yeah.
trains it like to that level with
Mhm.
the Brazilians.
Understood the technical aspect of it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because like
understood.
Usman's not like a jiu-jitsu specialist. That's why he didn't get down with Gilbert Burns. He never tried to get down in that fight because Gilbert,
Mm.
even in the training, they said that Gilbert Burns always, when there was jiu-jitsu, he'd always submit Usman. Usman
Oh,
played it smart to his strengths. He's just strong. He can get people down in position. But if you want to actually roll with people, he doesn't have those skills. So to me, I don't think Justin has the people to train with to even be prepared for someone like Oliveira,
yeah,
Islam, or Khabib. So I think he's done. There's
yeah.
no
Who
way.
who does
He's
Justin
gonna
train
lose.
with again?
He's in Trevor Whitman's camp, so it's gonna be Usman, and that's I don't know who if he trains outside of that, but they only have three people, right? So it's like more like, and Whitman's more like a. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I know everything about Whitman, but from my understanding, he's more of a technical striking coach as
Yeah,
opposed to
yeah. But if you,
all
yeah,
around, and that's why Usman went. So like Gaethje, if he wants to beat Oliveira, he's gotta pull out Usman and try to switch up cams. That's
interesting,
his only
interesting.
way. If he doesn't do it, he's done.
Yeah,
Anyone who thinks Gaethje's gonna beat him, I highly doubt it.
yeah. Because
Oliveira's
Oliveira's
not that. He's not
jujitsu
like he
wizard.
used to, and he's not like he used to be. You know how they're saying, oh, he folds under pressure. He does that.
Mm,
He's not that guy anymore.
mm,
Like if you just look at the Chandler fight, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. I mean, Oliveira's been facing the best of the best. He pretty much was raised in the UFC, and now he's in
Yeah.
his prime, fighting the best of the best since his career started. So he's had his ups and downs, and now through all that good experience, he's developed a sort of wisdom that can't is difficult to acquire otherwise. But yeah, not like so. I mean, none of those are really grudge matches, compared to what's coming up in a couple of weeks from now.
Oh yeah.
We got Mr. Colby Covington. Oh, sorry, Covington versus Mr. Jorge Masvidal. Oh gosh, this one seems to be a grudge match for sure.
I just hope at the end they don't become lovers because it was funny when Kobe fought Usman at the end and the ref had to break it up because all like they're all like being like Kobe and them, they're all like being nice, and the ref's like, okay, break it up now. You can do this later.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Because Usman and Kobe were talking a lot of shit with, I
Dude,
believe
they
there was
went
some,
too far, and it was nothing afterwards. So
yeah,
I know they're both Trump supporters, and that's cool. I don't care. A lot of things could be good about being a Trump supporter. I don't want to get political, but I mean, they have a lot of common ground. So I mean, I don't know.
yeah. I mean,
I
there were some,
sense that they're either gonna pretend that like, oh, we were friends all along and pull some WWE moves, or I don't know.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there there were some underhanded, like low blows with regards to insults to each other's
Oh
like
yeah,
family and wives and all that stuff, right? So it
it was
really
crazy. Yeah.
such insults really impacted both of their honor as well. Um, yeah, severely disrespected each other's families and
Yeah,
honor big time.
mainly from
So,
Kobe. So I don't know. Like Jorge seems the type that wouldn't let go of that stuff. He
mm,
kind of seems like that, but then he's done some really sus stuff where it's like I don't know if he really says who he is or maybe
yeah,
he is who he says when he
sort
like
of like a
teamed up with
faker,
Jake
right?
Paul and like
Yeah,
showed some bad sportsmanship. Yeah, showed some bad sportsmanship with Ben Askren, even though he posted that, oh, thank you for being like this. He posted that after a fight, thank you for accepting your win and all that. And then he goes and joins Jake Paul. Like, I don't know. I don't know if he's a smart businessman. He's a smart guy, but I think very well possible that this could be, um, this could be like a setup.
yeah. Well, I mean, in any case, just aside from the grudge aspect of it, if we're focusing just on how the fight will go, I mean, Colby's got the wrestling, which Jorge's been preparing for in Usman in his last couple fights, more or less. Probably against Ben Askren as well. I presume Jorge's been working on his wrestling. And he's wrestled with Colby in the past as part of their training camps. So he knows how Colby wrestles. So regardless, I think Colby still has the upper hand. Now it's a matter of, can Jorge stop those takedowns and keep it a striking battle? But then again, Colby's got really good boxing too. So
yeah, his boxing has improved too.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
He had closer fights with Usman than Jorge.
So well said.
Jorge could still be not traumatized, but like he could still be too worried about the takedown, and that was one aspect of why he got knocked out by Usman. But I don't think Colby has the knockout power of Usman, so I predict this to be a really good fight.
Wow.
Irregardless, it's going to be a good fight. I'd say I'm leaning more towards Colby.
Yeah.
But I mean, Masvidal performs better when he hates the person sometimes too. But he seemed like he hated Usman too, but Usman's just another animal. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, both of them have taken some damage recently too. In particular, so Jorge actually got KO'd, right? Against Usman. Now, apart from that, I don't think Jorge's taken much damage. Colby Covington, on the other hand, has taken quite a bit of damage from Usman both fights. So when you go through wars like that, your chin, it takes a toll on your chin. So like if Colby didn't take as much damage, so both of them are sort of in some ways traumatized, I would imagine, right? Colby just went 10 rounds against Usman, crazy striker with crazy reach. Is Jorge as good of a striker as Usman? He's got shorter reach. Maybe this is something Colby can deal with, So, but hey, if I had to choose one, gosh, this one's tough to choose. I don't know, man. But we might have to. I'll go the opposite of you again. How about that?
Okay. You're going for Jorge? I thought I'm surprised.
Oh, wait a second. Hold on. I don't, just because I'm going for them doesn't mean I want them to win. We're talking about like who we think will win. If we had to choose one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Colby will win. And you're thinking Jorge, eh? Okay.
I mean, I think Colby's got a shot. I think this is like really 50-50 for me, but just to make things interesting, I'll go with Jorge.
Apparently, Khamzat, if he finishes Gilbert, I don't even know if that fight's on, but if he finishes Gilbert, he's gonna fight the winner. So if it's Colby, it's gonna be battle of Colby Covington and Khamzat Chimaev.
Nice one. All right, so these are some good bouts we have looking forward to. Next week, Nasrat versus Bobby Green, and the week after, Mr.
No, not Nasrat. Islam versus Bobby Green.
Oh, what did I say?
You said Nasrat.
Oh gosh, yeah, Bobby Green versus Islam Makhachev, and the week after we got Colby versus Jorge, and this is what we've sort of analyzed at a high level just now. So, yeah, I guess we'll sync up again a week from now and collect some more footage and analyze what other fights are approaching and talk about them as well.
Shizzle.
Yeah, man. So I enjoyed this, man. We kept it to about an hour, pretty much on the dot. For everyone watching, I hope if you guys made it this far, we hope that you enjoyed it. We hope you enjoyed listening to our voices and we didn't put you to sleep.
Enjoy the fights.
Peace. Later, everyone. See you, man.